All right, we're here.
Sorry, I was clicking something. Don't do this
Dude,
again.
you're also kind of rusty, right?
What an intro. It's the Waver at Seattle podcast at Seatown Sports. I think we have to keep that intro. That was incredible. It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a minute.
It's been a minute, but not much has changed. The Husky men's basketball team, I don't think, has won the past 2 weeks, right?
Boy,
Or
yeah.
maybe they've won one.
What I put on the agenda for 2 weeks ago still applies actually in a lot of cases. So it's great. It's episode 86, which is pretty cool. Kevin, you missed some things.
I have a day job. Also you have a day job. I was actually surprised that we were able to keep the streak of if we missed a week, we always came back the next week. But man, if someone out there is just really depressed on their Tuesday commute that they didn't get to listen to us, I am sorry.
Yeah.
That's a sincere apology.
We're back for you this Tuesday or whenever you listen. We're happy to be here. It's a fun time to be a Seattle sports fan. We do both have jobs. This is something we do for fun on the side, and we do the best we can around both having 2 kids, very different ages and different stages of life. Kev's been wrapped up in work, and baby Luca just full on. I'm assuming Luca's crying like Luka Doncic is crying.
Yes. Also, ignoring his older brother, like Luka ignores LeBron, or maybe it's the other way
JJ.
around, right?
I saw a great clip of Luka just ignoring JJ the other day. It was great.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because your other child is JJ. So I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. Someone thought we named our kids after Lakers. And I was like, that is the furthest away.
Well, that's what one of your best friends is telling everyone.
Yeah.
So
it's not true.
All right. So you love the Lakers. That's one thing.
Yeah. Man.
Basically, you missed all of the Olympics, Kev, since you've been working.
I did watch the Olympics. It was the one thing I would watch late at night when I was writing a brief. I'd just turn on.
It's actually perfect.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch the curlers. And I got really good at watching curling. Yeah. I don't know if that's a thing, but
I don't know if it is either. But Luke and Ben, they did. I watched their whole last match that they had to win, or second to last match that they had to win. They had a tough final 2 days on the ice, but they seemed like great spirits. They were getting after it. And Kev, what you might have missed, I don't know if you saw this. Our boy Ben Richardson, one of our podcast guests, went viral
with his daily "This is what I'm eating" in the Olympic Village. I loved those videos.
Reviews got over 20 million views.
Oh my gosh.
Delish.com, which does a lot of food stuff, had a whole post about him, basically saying they're so plain. His reviews would just be like, this pizza is an 8 out of 10. And that's all he'd say. And so people were getting frustrated. But then Delish, this is their quote. His simplicity was part of the charm. And quote, also, it doesn't hurt that he's easy on the eyes. Congrats, Ben.
Ben,
you are viral for many reasons. And I hope that's working out for you.
He does cello.
Yeah.
He does curling and he does food reviews. I mean, that's what you got to do with the attention. You got to seize on it, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of surreal to see those guys podcasting out of my basement, talking to these Olympians and they're regular dudes, and then see them on TV and competing. By the way, did you see the Canadian curler that cheated and then cussed out the other team for accusing him of cheating?
Yeah, it was great. Curling has its moment every time. People are what we talked to Ben and Luke about, that people think they can do it. And then they get into it. And then, there's some controversy this time. I mean, it was great. The curling really, obviously people love the skiing and everything, but the curling kind of captures everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as the hockey.
Yeah.
The hockey was kind of a big deal.
For local Bay Area curling clubs. They have the little thing where you can go get lessons and drink a beer after. I'm like, that actually doesn't sound bad.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Kev. I think my wife said the other day, well, obviously we'll go curling sometime soon. I was like, we are? What do you mean?
You're going to go to the Granite Curling Club.
Yeah, we'll be there at some point. It's going to happen.
Well, congrats to the curlers for a well-fought time. Were there any other standouts about the Winter Olympics to you? I mean, I watched a lot of it, but any other storylines?
I mean, I was working when the women's hockey championship happened. My wife was off because she had a midwinter break from her school, and she was sending me play-by-play. And then we watched the men's one together. We got up early, watched the third period in overtime. It was awesome. The hockey was awesome. Yeah. Hockey in the Olympics, the 4 nations last year at the All-Star break, anytime hockey can go country to country, it's phenomenal. And I don't know what that means for people for the Kraken and whether they'll be interested. The closest thing we get is playoff hockey, and playoff hockey is really, really cool. We've only had it once, but it was awesome. So the Kraken are in the mix for that, but they actually don't have that many games left. They're in their like final 20, I think. So it's getting down to it, and they're in a playoff spot. But that's what I would say. My takeaway was the hockey leading into the NHL season again. What about you?
I mean, like everyone else, I love the storyline of Alyssa Liu, the figure skater that got gold. I was fascinated by her relationship with her dad and like the backstory about how he might have pushed her too hard, but like he's still there cheering her on. And I think I heard somewhere that he invested over like $1 million in her career.
Whoa.
And I was like thinking about it. It was like, if my parents invested $1 million in one sport, like could I get as far as Alyssa Liu at the age of 20? I don't think so, but I just want to know what sport it would be.
So are you subconsciously blaming Bev right now? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, maybe Bev and Jim. I hold a lot of
I wouldn't throw Jim on. I'm giving it to Bev if I'm blaming
my mom
somebody.
did. Let's just say the younger sibling gets to do a little more. He gets a little more, flexibility in terms of how far they'll drive, how much they'll spend. But that's not correlated to how much they love all of us equally.
No. I'm trying to think of like how much money I've spent on either one of my kids. It's definitely not near $1 million. But it's not cheap either,
Was there ever a line where you're like, that's just too much? Like that bat that you want to buy is too much.
That's so funny you say that.
Those shoes are too much.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because the season fees for like club soccer and AAU basketball are on the border, but at least you're getting like 6 months or 9 months out of it, right? So we haven't reached that point where it's crazy amounts. And now Lincoln's in high school, and we've kind of gone past the club fees. Now, he gets to do the high school sports, which is really cool.
And you are an athletic director, so you know where the money goes, right?
Yeah,
it's not just the money goes black hole, right?
No. And what's awesome about high school sports is it's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, you want a coat or a new sweatshirt that says lacrosse on it, like awesome. That's not $3,000 for club fees, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our tuition that's paying it, but
yeah.
I think we went to Dick's Sporting Goods recently because my younger son, Felix, is decided to play lacrosse for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's adding that to basketball. And lacrosse, we looked this up, like what the most expensive sports are. And a lot of winter sports are in the top 10. But once you get into the sports that kind of are played at the high school level, not equestrian and things that involve buying a horse, lacrosse is pretty expensive. So we were kind of having this debate. And Felix was very into baseball. And a lot of the kids he played with had $400 bats. And he was like 10, when he played. And we bought him originally the first time he played because we didn't know if he'd play or not. We went to Big Five and just got him like a $40 bat. And when you hear on the aluminum a good bat hit the ball with a good swing, it does carry better. I'm sure golf clubs are similar, right? Good golf clubs, maybe. So we ended up in between. I think the most expensive thing we did crowdsource, and he got a bat in the $200 range that was also a birthday present that aunties contributed, right? So it was like a team effort, which also, when you say to your kid, it's a birthday present, is this what you really want? It has it's like buying your own sort of, but not really.
Yeah.
As a 10-year-old, instead of just saying, here's your bat, you say like, this is your birthday present and it's from this person, this person, this person. You're going to thank them. I think it has a different, it doesn't feel as bad as a parent.
Is this a thing of a past? Because I remember when I was in Little League and I realized that, things might change, but if you had the one kid on the team get like the nice bat, and the bat worked for you, like there's no problem that you could use the bat when it was your turn to bat. But I don't know if it's just like
no, that still exists for like rec league or Little League. He started playing like all stars in the summer, and when you play all stars, you start to play with a bunch of select kids. You don't have to, but like all the kids play year round for the most part who we played with, and they all had one or multiple nice bats. He would borrow from some kids, but then, there was one he liked, and it was, called a War Stick. I'll give a shout out to the War Stick. Loved it. It's cool. And they make one that looks like a pencil. That's kind of cool. That's what we saw this weekend. But they were like $400 bats. And I kind of looked at them longingly, Kev, because I missed my kid playing baseball. I was like, I wish I was having this dilemma.
Of having to buy a
Instead, I was buying, and I like lacrosse a lot, so I'm happy to do it. But it was like, that's expensive too. Pads, cleats, you got to get elbow pads, and then you're looking at those sticks are like bats, are like $200. So, it's not cheap. Not cheap. Basketball's great. You get good shoes, but then you have a kid like mine who has like 6 pairs of shoes.
You need multiple shoes. There's always.
You don't need it. You don't need it. You just want it. Yeah.
My dad used to wear a shirt, and he'd walk around, and it said, "I'm your father, not an ATM." And I feel like
I like that.
As being a parent, like you need one of those just to, show people that you are a father, not an ATM.
Yeah. Also, Jim, like, God, so good, Jim. Like, just the cringy shirt, like borderline cringy that you can embarrass your kids with too. Like, I want to wear that on the sideline of a game just to make him so embarrassed that I'm wearing it. I'm kind of in that mode where I'm like getting closer to 50, and I'm like, I need to wear some cringier stuff.
I mean, you can wear whatever you want. You've put in your time.
I know. Except for when you're a teacher at the school, if it's, for prep sport.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind of keep my standards too,
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm getting old. I don't want to be on the weird old teacher.
You still want to look good. Yeah.
I want to be in the at least in the realm of the fun teacher who's not weird, so we'll see how long I can make it last.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird, Kev, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl 3 weeks ago or something. You have a Super Bowl pennant above you, not from this one, right? That's a different one.
No, that's
this one. Okay, yeah, you got that from the stadium.
Right?
The Roman numerals throw me off, Kev. I don't know what I'm looking at. I was never good at Roman numerals.
I still don't get why we do that. I think it's dumb.
Okay, fair.
It makes people feel dumb. If the NFL wants
just
to be
made me feel dumb, so they did it.
If the NFL wants to be more accessible, stop using Roman numerals. The only place we use Roman numerals are in legal briefs, and no one reads legal briefs.
Or in the library of Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade when he was trying to find the way into the beneath the library. Oh, it's a great
Don't
scene.
Even get me started on Harrison Ford. I saw his speech last night on the Actors Award. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah. And he said, I got this award for being alive for a very long time.
He's right. That's usually what Lifetime Achievement Awards are for.
I always think these old actors, how do they remember all their lines? They're so old. But
being ageist. Let's move on.
I am.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So the Seahawks won the Super Bowl a few weeks ago, and the reality is time just turns and you're already into decision making and people are freaking out. And so a little status update, since you were taking care of children and or the law, the Seahawks are facing the same dilemma. And we put this off. We said, we're not going to talk about it till later, but here's what we're looking at: unrestricted free agent issues. Okay. So the one that everybody wants to talk about obviously is Ken Walker, right? Super Bowl MVP. Will he be back? Will he not? Along with Zach Charbonnet being hurt, certainly feels like they need a running back, right? So whether that's Walker or not, we can talk about that. I think the next guy on the list for me, maybe not for everybody else, would be Kobe Bryant. I don't know if they'll bring him back at safety. Maybe they don't have to. Ty Okada's going to be back. Was he good enough? Maybe you could say Tariq Woolen is the next guy on the list, right? Or Josh Jobe. Both corners. Feels like they need one of them back. Some people would put Rashid Shaheed next. He's an unrestricted free agent. Made $5 million. I saw something today that said, could he get $15 million a year? I'm like, if that's the case, he's not coming back. And then the last one probably, there's a couple other guys, but Boye Mafe as a D end, right? So Seahawks are kind of playing, they're doing what they always do, right? They're not really revealing anything. They certainly seem to be using language like Schneider says, we'll have him back if it fits and it makes sense. Which is why John Schneider is really good too. It's why he's good. I'm sorry, Ken Walker, and I've said this from the beginning, don't pay him a lot of money.
It almost, good for him to win the Super Bowl MVP and, get paid. whether it's in Seattle or somewhere else. But I'd be perfectly happy with the Seahawks drafting, say, Jonah Coleman, right? Like, I
listen to you.
Yeah. I mean, he's third round. He's right in the range of and Schneider likes to draft running backs. It's not a crazy notion.
It's not a crazy notion.
Yeah. And he's a bruiser. Like, that's exactly what Schneider wants. Like, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I saw something that said, well, David Montgomery was a rumor for a while, but he got traded to the Texans today.
Yeah.
But Tyler Algier from the Falcons, that guy's awesome. Yeah. Like, I would 100% take him at a way lower price than Ken Walker. I don't think you can extend Witherspoon and JSN and maybe do something different with Sam Darnold's contract and
those
have
are
Ken Walker at $20 million a year.
And that's probably like the more important thing is
totally.
Like, how can you keep guys happy like that are already under contract where you don't want these like annoying disputes going into the fall camp, right? Of holdouts or whatever. Because now this is the hard part about like climbing the mountain, right? You're at the top of the mountain and now it's like, okay, people feel really good about themselves, which they should. They won the Super Bowl, right? And they want to feel valued. And so there's going to be, we saw it happen 10 years ago. Like, it's going to be no surprise when some really good player says, I want to get paid more money. It's like,
right. And both those guys,
it's going to happen.
They'll get an option picked up, but you want to probably extend them. I mean, they could wait a year and see kind of cap space they have. And if the cap keeps going up, and maybe, this is something we should talk about as well, but maybe it's related to new ownership. Like, does the ownership care? I guess with a cap, it's not as big of a deal. It feels like in baseball, it'd be a bigger deal. Like, would you sign guys to deals if the new owner is going to come in? And we have no idea who the owner is going to be. There's, if you read certain social media accounts, are like, watch out, Seahawks might move because of the millionaire tax. And I don't want to get in that conversation today. I don't think they're moving. I don't have any idea who's going to be their owner, as I don't think anyone knows, right?
But you should read the article that I wrote on ctownsports.com.
Beautiful.
Potential owners. Although Bill Gates, who I put on the list, has publicly said that that's not for him. He's into philanthropy. So good for Bill Gates.
Yeah. We'll see where that goes. Yeah. It's going to take a year-long process, it looks like. But
who would you want as an owner, by the way? If you could just pick one.
I mean, honestly, Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, he's into it.
I have witnessed a lot of Ballmer fun in my life because his kids went to Lakeside and I was coaching at prep, and one of his kids played and one of his kids was a manager, I think, or maybe it was the same kid, different years. Saw Ballmer in the crowd. He was the same as you see him at Clipper games as he was at high school games. He was a maniac, and I say that with an absolute compliment. He loves sports. But what I would really focus on is look at what he's done with the Clippers. He's tried to make a name for them. He built a new stadium.
Live there. He doesn't even live.
He built a stadium. He made it a cool fan experience in that arena.
Yeah.
He's invested in the team. I think that's the kind of owner you want. You either want an owner who's just like, hey, I'm just doing it for an investment and I'm totally hands off. Go to work, John Schneider. Fine. Yeah. That works. Or you want an owner who's like invested but is willing to let, isn't
like
Jerry
Mark
Jones.
Cuban. Mark Cuban,
Yeah, Mark Cuban is good. Like he let his people do their work, and he liked to know what was going on, but not Jerry Jones, who's acting as general manager.
Yeah. Mark Cuban would never let the Anthony Davis trade happen. Man, what a bad trade.
Well, yeah, that was tough. Although they ended up with Cooper Flagg, so maybe it worked out.
Maybe.
Yeah, so the Seahawks have some things happening. They also, since we talked, Kev, they have a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I've had some time to let that process or let it marinate, and I'm more nervous because we saw how drastic a change Ryan Grubb to Clint Kubiak was, and it's not exactly like the 49ers scored a lot of points like on the Seahawks. They scored 6 points in that playoff game, and it kind of makes me question. That's definitely a small sample size, right? Right? Doesn't that make you a little nervous? Like the guy that called plays is just not here. That got this team to the Super Bowl. That unlocked. Well, maybe didn't unlock.
That part makes me nervous. I think hiring Fleury does not make me nervous. I like it more. Actually, I like it more than hiring somebody from within.
Yeah.
Because George Kittle was so pissed he left. And then he sort of, the Shanahan tree, like, I don't care what they do against the Seahawks. The Shanahan offense is really tough.
Yeah.
And what he could do And then honestly, Mike McDonald's leadership, and he knows exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, here, I'll get on here and say this because I was clipped one time saying Sam Darnold's not going to win the Super Bowl. I really have a hard time believing the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl again. Not because they couldn't.
Yeah.
It's so hard to repeat because of injuries and random luck. And, you know, you think about the way, I mean, all the Rams fans are talking about that 2-point conversion, then they don't have home field and this, and this. There was no luck in the Super Bowl. There was no luck in the Niners game. The Seahawks dominated, right?
Yeah.
The Rams games can go either way, and maybe they don't go that way next year, and maybe Darnold has a key pick, or maybe they don't find a replacement for Ken Walker or whatever, you know? So the chances of repeating are really, really hard. That's why you have to have a Brady or a Mahomes to do it.
Yeah.
With all that said, I don't think it's going to be because Fleury is hired. I do think there's a difference between worrying about Fleury and worrying about losing the guy who won the Super Bowl for you and unlocking Sam Darnold in the offense. I think you're right. I think that's got to be a concern for sure. I would put, building off of that, just to finish up our Seahawks conversation for today, since the NFL season's not till September. I think the 3 positions of need are obviously running back. Like with no Charbonnet and no Walker right now for the start of the season, you can't roll George Halani. You might have him on your roster, might be featured more, and they'll get somebody, Tyler Algier or whatever.
I think they're definitely going to draft a running back. I don't know when.
Every time you think that, they do something different, though. Except for last year. We thought they'd draft a guard, and they did. The second one for me is right guard. I don't care what any metric or anyone wants to say. Anthony Bradford is a weak link on that offensive line. I think actually the metrics back that up for the most part over the years, and I'd like to see that upgraded in the way it doesn't have to be a first rounder, although number 32 overall could be a great place for a guard. And now you have 2 guards for the next however many years with the center and tackles locked up. That appeals to me. And then I would put the third one at corner with Woolen and Job. Those are your 2 and 3 corners, right? So you need somebody to play opposite Witherspoon. So any position you would put on that list as position in need for the Seahawks? Does that work for you?
No, I think that works for me. I'm concerned about running back. I think it's kind of like fantasy football, like at least fantasy football of old, where you just got to stock up on those guys because the injuries, like we saw with Charbonnet, and just like the durability concerns. So I agree with you. I want them to. I'd like to see them actually draft at each of these positions, not with the idea that it would provide good competition and good depth, but then you could also address some of this in free agency. I think for sure you could fill a hole in running back with a rookie, but with like a cornerback, maybe you sign a vet. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you need a vet
just
more
like
there.
Yeah. I like the idea of just getting young guys in and giving them a shot. But
well here's the good news, Kev. In about a week and a half, you get to do a draft with me for fantasy baseball. So.
Man, I barely got the minor league draft.
Yeah, and that was on email. That was a slow draft on email, but you got there. One of the guys I drafted in our minor league draft, number 2 overall. Now, just so people have context, much of the minor leaguers are already owned in this dynasty league that Kev and I are in. Complete nerd league. It's great.
Yeah.
But the guy I drafted who was available is Ryan Sloan.
Yeah.
And Ryan Sloan and Kate Anderson went number 3 in our minor league draft.
Speaking
Those guys are turning heads.
I got to tell you something that I learned. I don't think you know this. Do you know the single A affiliate of the Mariners was the Modesto Nuts, but this upcoming season is the Inland Empire 66ers in San Bernardino, California. And I learned this because I was like, I really want to go to the San Jose Giants, not that far from where I live.
Yeah.
And they have a schedule, and they don't play like 4-game series. They play like 6-game series.
I know. Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
And I was like, where is the Mariners affiliate? Like, I don't see them on here. And then I looked it up, and I was like, they play a lot of games against the Inland Empire Sixers, who I don't know if we're going to be talking about any of these guys on the Sixers. I don't think so, because they're not at camp. They're not at spring training.
What do you mean?
Single A affiliate players? There's no way they're at spring training.
Yeah, they are. They'll send them
Some
down.
of them are? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have a minor league camp as well, but like,
yeah,
I don't think Sloan will start there. Maybe neither. Ryan Sloan and Kate Anderson are turning heads. So these guys are. Ryan Sloan is a guy who throws 99 miles per hour with great control of his breaking pitches, right-handed starter. He was in the minors last year. Cade Anderson is the number 3 pick in the last year's draft, who has not thrown a minor league inning at all. So that's what made me pause. Could they start him in single A? Maybe, maybe he'll start there. But sometimes the weather too depends on what they do with pitchers. So they might start somebody there because they don't want them in a cold weather environment when they're their big arms. So maybe you will get a chance to see one of them. They are kind of the talk of camp right now, and neither's going to break with the team. Could either be on the roster by the end of the year. It's possible. It's certainly exciting when you think about the future of the Mariners being ready to keep going with them. And then the other conversation in camp is they trade for Brendan Donovan. Very exciting. He's having a great camp so far. He's probably your starting third baseman, with Cole Young as your starting second baseman. But is there a chance Cole Emerson's your starting third baseman and Brendan Donovan's at second? If you had to make a prediction right now, based on whatever information you have, Kev, what would you say?
I'd say Donovan definitely starts at third. I think Dipoto has made that clear. And I think Cole Young starts at second just because he has that experience. But I think it's one of those things where Emerson will naturally get a lot of playing time because the way just the season goes in terms of injuries and whatnot, and the fact that they have Donovan, who's versatile. So it doesn't have to be that Donovan gets injured. It could be that there's an injury concern in the outfield and then Donovan moves to the outfield. It could be that Cole Young hits a slump, so you want to move Donovan to second baseman and get Emerson some reps at third. Like, I could totally see that happening. And so it's not necessarily, well, he doesn't nail the opening day starter. Like, he could be a utility guy or a potential fill-in if there's a major injury. So, and I think that's ideally how you want a young guy to come in, right? Like, with not a lot of pressure, and kind of that's what Dipoto said is why they wanted like a Jorge Polanco type of guy. That's why they got Donovan, because he's a vet that you can plug in many places, and it takes pressure off of your young talent, right? To not just have to feel like they have to be, a major leaguer as soon as they step in. So, yeah.
I think I don't want to put too much into spring. I don't think Cole Young being 1 for 10 with 6 strikeouts is exciting to me. Yeah. He did hit a 442 hit home run yesterday. That's pretty awesome. But the 1 for 10 is fine because you don't know where they're hitting it or what they're working on. The 6 strikeouts is a concern. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter yet. He's going to get a lot of reps because of the World Baseball Classic with the Mariners. Emerson's 4 for 15. He started off pretty well. He's not really doing anything to say, like, you got to put him on the roster, is my guess. Not to mention there's all those rules with free agency and minor league guys that if you wait till May 1st, you can buy a year of free agency and all this stuff. It's not fair to the player, but it's reality. I would guess Cole Young, Leo Rivas platoon to start the year at second base. And let me tell you, dude, he's freaking awesome. Do you remember he had a huge hit in the Tigers series?
Yeah.
And he's just scrappy. He doesn't strike out that much. I love him. So I don't mind that to start the year. I don't get too excited about a Cole Young, Leo Rivas platoon with JP at the bottom of the lineup. It doesn't give me like goosebumps. Cole Emerson, when he comes up, I will that'll be appointment viewing for me whenever that is. So I think the way they describe him, the way Julio and Cal have described Cole Emerson, everyone should be excited. So, are you going to watch any of the World Baseball Classic?
Hell yeah. I'm seeing a lot of press with Cal Raleigh making his rounds.
Okay.
The World Baseball Classic? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Countries play each other. Julio's going to be in it. I think it's fun.
It's true.
I don't know what channel
it's pretty awesome.
It's on ESPN.
Well, that's a great point. I don't know what channel it's on either. It's probably not. It's probably on like TNT. I don't know why I think that, but it is. They just announced the USA rotation for the first few games. Oh boy, this is going to be. Let me finish my point here, and then we'll get back to that. Logan Webb's pitching game 1, Tarek Skubal game 2, Paul Skeens game 3, Nolan McLean, who's a young pitcher for the Mets game 4. That's pretty ridiculous for the USA. I don't know if that excites you or not, but it's pretty awesome.
So do they do pool play and then a tournament? Is it like curling?
They do. It looks like Fox has them. It's all the Fox channels. So
got it.
Let's see. Dates. It's starting soon. You know what? No, the semifinals are on the 15th and 16th. and the championship's on the 17th, and March Madness will start that week. So you can go World Baseball Classic into March Madness. It's beautiful.
You're going to go WCC tournament, then World Baseball Classic, and then NCAA tournament at the.
Yeah, it's a big tournament for Santa Clara, Kev.
Do you think they have to win two to get in? I mean,
no, because if they win two, they're in.
They're
automatically in the semifinals.
So do you think if they win their semifinal game, they're in?
No, sorry, they're automatically in the quarterfinal. You're right. They would have to win two. They certainly can't lose the quarterfinal to like the 6th seed or whatever.
Yeah, so they need to win.
Then they're going to play St. Mary's again.
They have to beat St. Mary's.
If they lose, it's going to be hard. If they beat them, there's a real question about Santa Clara being in over St. Mary's because they would have won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, because, they got whooped the last game.
It's a big game. It's a big game. So, yes, I will be watching.
They need to win that quarterfinal game.
Yes. And it will be just like Santa Clara to lose that game. Don't get me started. Be pissed off. You know who's not in a position to be in the NCAA tournament is your UW men's basketball team.
Yeah. It's sad when the headline is the guy that got his jersey retired and not really. Shout out to Detlef Schrempf. But, man, they suck.
They suck. They're bad.
There's no way else to put it. Yeah. Sorry. So they're bad.
Yeah. Here's the real question. What should they do with Danny Sprinkle?
I mean, you got to ride him out, but because so they say that the most insane thing is to do the thing over and over again. But here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to just talk this out with you.
You clearly need to talk this out. Yeah, you're rattled right now.
But here's the issue is like you try to build through the transfer portal 2 years in a row. The first year was out of necessity. The second year was like, okay, the guys we got, we entered the portal late. Now we can enter the portal early. Now
these are my guys.
Yeah, now I have a war chest. Right. Yeah. And clearly they spent the money like in a good way.
We got USC's 2 best players, and we got this great player of the year from the SoCon conference, and we got
another player of the year.
2 freshman studs, and
we got this guy from Germany that's
what I mean. Yeah,
best dude, right? The NBA prospect, and like they can't play together. So.
Hannes is just falling in line with. I mean, the Husky basketball program is cursed because,
and it doesn't matter.
Isaiah Stewart, McDaniels, Markelle Fultz. The list goes on in the past 10 years of guys who ended up being good pros or first-round picks. Steinbach's going to be right in there with that, putting up amazing numbers, and they're just on awful teams.
Could you imagine if Jed Fish could trade on the be a pro with the Husky basketball program, right? Like, it's kind of funny because they're just like recruiting they're recruiting based on guys and talking about guys that were Huskies when they weren't the coaches. Imagine if this whole shtick was for the basketball team. You'd have so many guys to point to, right? Like,
yeah.
It wouldn't even, it would be a joke, right? Like all these like lottery picks. And yeah, it's a good question. I tend to think like you usually need to give guy 4 years. The Huskies aren't like, they're not the class of the Big Ten, right? They weren't the class of the Pac-12, save for like maybe like a 6 to 7 year period with Lorenzo Romar. And it's like the question, the answer to your question is like, who else would they get, right? Do you take another shot at like, there's going to be some mid-major team and a mid-major coach that's young, that's going to make a run in that wins a conference or wins a couple tournament games or has done it multiple times, will have the same profile as Danny Sprinkle. Like, do you just go hire that guy and do this thing over again? I don't want that. Like, because I don't think that that's necessarily better than Sprinkle having 2 years of getting beat up in the Big Ten and like learning from it, right? I'm optimistic to think that he could learn and recruit the right way. And when I say recruit, I don't mean high school. I mean like the portal and get guys that can compete, right?
I am no longer optimistic, and I was a Danny Sprinkle guy, maybe out of optimism. I didn't really have a lot of information to think he was good, other than I had some friends who were excited who watched some of his games at Utah State, I think is where he was. I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to agree with you based on numbers. So my understanding is UW would have to pay 85% of his salary if they fired him. He's owed $15.6 million for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So they'd have to pay $12.75 million. And then you go get a mid-major coach at, even if you went conservative and said $2 million a year. So are you prepared to pay a coach $14 million next year combined?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? You like, because of the buyout and whatever. No, they can't afford to do that. And that doesn't make sense. You know,
and I
it's,
think
people
Danny
would say
Sprinkle,
sunk cost, but it's not a sunk cost because Danny Sprinkle is going to make $3 million next year. Even if you look at it from a $3.6 million and then you add a 2, so now you're paying 5.6 for a coach next year who's maybe just in the same problem Danny Sprinkle is. No, I think you roll with Sprinkle again, but I will add to that. I do not have optimism after watching the way they play offense this year. I'm really frustrated by watching their team. I don't think they have an identity. I don't think he runs particularly interesting things on offense. I think they run a lot of, quote, pro style high pick and roll or ISO ball. That is bad to watch. It's not fun basketball to watch. It's not team oriented. There's nothing that is creative about his offensive approach, and they're not good on defense. They don't compete hard enough on defense. So
I think I
need to see a major overhaul next year.
Yeah. I think the original sin was the roster construction. I think they were so concerned about getting good guys that can play rather than guys that can play together. They definitely had dudes that could play, but like I just felt like they didn't. Do you think he's just was a poor coach at getting guys to play together? Do you think?
I don't disagree with you, but
it just had so many guys that just needed the ball all the time.
Totally true, but also I would believe that more if I hadn't watched the year before a different style where they ran things through Great Osabor in the post, who put up empty numbers all the time, and they were, again, not very good. So they ran a different style of offense where they ran everything through him at sort of a mid-post action. This year it's like Zoom, and it was Claude for a while, and then it's Yates, and then it was JJ for a little bit, and it's these guards running high pick and roll with some cool post-up actions to Hannes, like there is some stuff there.
What they really need to do is get some shooters. They need to pay premium for shooters this next portal round. Like, it just killed them.
I think, and I don't know, maybe I'm just the grumpy old man who doesn't like watching modern basketball because I get frustrated at Santa Clara the same way because of it just goes so ISO heavy. And I hate to say it, but like Gonzaga does not go ISO heavy, and they're really fun to watch. St. Mary's does not go ISO heavy. They're really fun to watch. Michigan State does not go ISO heavy. You know what I mean? Like there's teams that don't. Iowa does not. So you can go find basketball teams that run cool action. And I just feel like Sprinkle needs like an offensive coordinator to come in with some sort of vision, and they roster construct together. And I don't know, or he needs to go back to his roots of like whatever he did at Utah State that was working. I would like to go watch those games and see what he did.
To be honest, they had Great Osabor just battling against like maybe subpar competition.
Totally. Right.
Credit to Sprint. I don't think that's just necessarily like easy to do. Like I think you need to figure out ways. Well, now he's going to get double teamed. What do you do? Now he's going to, how do you coach him up to kind of, and how do you get your other guys to build around one guy? And like now, like I think he's just got a little lost, and then you lose a lot of one. He needs to
find his way.
Yeah,
he needs to find his way.
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. I love him. I love that he likes being a Husky. I want him to succeed. Yeah,
good for you. Okay, on the flip side, the women are going to make the tournament. They have 20 wins. They're projected to 7 seed. It doesn't matter what happens in the Big Ten tournament. They're in. They're in. They're not on the bubble. They're not last 4 in like last year. They're in. They could be an 8 or a 9 seed. That's possible. But I think actually now, if they're kind of projected in the 7, I know ESPN has them as a 7. I'm going to actually look at another site and see what they have them projected, because they're playing USC in the first round on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time in the Big Ten tournament. And this is the 8-9 game in the Big Ten. This is how good the Big Ten is. That's the 8-9 game in the Big Ten. And and the Huskies are going to be a 7 seed in the tournament. Right? Like, it's just like there's so many good teams in the Big Ten.
It's crazy.
I'm going to go see where the most recent 7 seed for this other projection as well. So they're kind of 7 seed across the board. They have a really high net ranking. Their win over Michigan earlier this year certainly helped. They also beat Minnesota, who's now a 4 seed and is in the top 16 by the actual committee. You know how they reveal like their top 16
Yeah,
now?
I remember we talked about that game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Minnesota like
game?
I had friends who were like, they don't look good at all, and Minnesota's been killing it. So the Huskies have beaten some good teams this year. They beat Maryland, also in the top 16.
You know what Danny Sprinkle needs to do? You're talking about an offensive coordinator. Just go walk over to Tina Langley's office and ask her how she built her roster.
I mean, they have a system. Like, you can hate it.
They got Avery Howell, man, and she's hella good. She's the best player on that team.
And she fits in the system really, really well. They frustrate me at times too, but they have a very clear philosophy for how they want to play offense, and I don't see that with the men.
Ball just moves around so fast around the perimeter.
It does. They get in trouble when somebody takes away what they're trying to do, but they have enough weapons where, it'd be interesting. This is a potential surprising Sweet 16 team. As a 7, they go beat the number 2 seed in the next round and then see what happens after that. They beat Michigan, Minnesota, and Maryland, so they're capable. I think this week, so they play Thursday at 9 a.m. All of us will be working. We won't be able to watch it. Let's say they lost to USC in that game. They could fall to an 8 seed, which would suck. Because then they're playing the 1 seed in the second round, and they're not going to beat a 1 seed because the 1 seeds are going to be so good this year.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. They got to get a 7 seed, but the best case scenario this week is they're going to beat USC, let's say. Well, then they play UCLA in the second round of the Big Ten tournament or whatever it is. And UCLA is an absolute juggernaut. They're beating people by 30 every game. So the Big Ten tournament.
Huskies, what were the results against UCLA this year? Do you know?
Huskies were actually competitive. They only played once. It was recently, and the Huskies were competitive for most of the game. I don't know.
Then it slipped away. I actually remember this game. It slipped away in the fourth quarter. UCLA won by like 10-15.
Ooh, it's probably more than that in the end because UCLA beats everyone by crazy amounts. No, you're right. UCLA won by 15. And actually, look at this, Kev. If you look at their UCLA's last, I'm going to try and pull this up here. I've got it. If you look at UCLA's last games, they beat USC by 23, Wisconsin by 20, Indiana by 40, Michigan State by 22, Michigan by 3. So that one was close, obviously, right? But even they beat Iowa by 23, and
UW's out here beating
15
Oregon
point game.
By 1. Yeah.
No, I'm saying they only beat Washington by 15. Exciting. That game will also be at 9 a.m. on Friday, so no one will see it. Really sucks. But I think we're probably just looking at hoping the Huskies get a 7 seed.
Dumb. Is it because the men's game they're putting at like a more premium time on Thursday and Friday? Because I'd much rather watch UW versus UCLA than some subpar Big Ten quarterfinal men's game.
No, I mean, I hear you. It's because the conference is enormous. So Thursday there's going to be 4 games, right? And so it's Eastern time because it's in Indianapolis. So it's noon Eastern, and then it's 25 minutes after the game. So it's probably 3 Eastern. Then there's a 6:30 Eastern, and then there's going to be one that starts at 9 Eastern. That's with 4 games. So there's not really anything they can do. I mean, the best bet is to fly to Indianapolis. I mean, what a tournament. It would be an incredible. Every matchup's going to be awesome. Like, this is what the matchups could be. This isn't even the quarterfinals. This is the round before. You could have USC Washington, Nebraska Ohio State, Illinois Michigan State, and Oregon Maryland. Those are all amazing games. Those are all tournament teams. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Fun.
Oregon's getting in. Nebraska's getting in with sub 500 conference records. So the Big Ten is loaded. It's awesome. I encourage everybody to get Big Ten Network and watch the games, even if it's not UW. But we'll talk about them once we know their seed in their matchup.
Yep.
Okay.
On to blind rank. Is this a new segment? Like,
no,
blind
we've done
rank
this before.
Top 5?
No, we did this once before. You just you're just, everything's blending together in your head. So it's a blind rank top 5. I'm going to give you 7. We did this once before. You'll remember. I'm going to give you 7 Mariners third basemen in the history of the franchise.
I can't wait.
And you can exclude them, or you can rank them 1 through 5, wherever you want to put them.
This is exciting.
Now, the reason I did third baseman, we talked about
Jeff Cirillo right now. All right, go ahead.
No, will you let me give some context? My God. Are we just going to get back on the podcast and you're going to interrupt me for an hour?
I miss it.
I don't. Okay. There's 7 names. I'm going to give you the names. The reason we're doing it is because Cole Emerson was part of our topic earlier. Is he going to be the third baseman? Is it Brendan Donovan? Who's going to be the third baseman? Obviously, we had Big Gino last year. That was exciting to have him back after a failed experiment before that. So I'm going to give you some names here. Ready?
I'm ready.
Here's the first one. Are you excluding or are you ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? David Bell.
He was actually pretty good. Part of the 2000 and 2001 Mariners. Both
Very good.
teams went to the ALCS. I'd put him at number 3.
Okay, number 3. Gino Suarez.
Damn. Did I just rank David Bell above Gino?
I don't know. Did you?
Damn, dude. Because you could also pull out Edgar on me. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to just take the loss and put Suarez at 4.
Okay.
He had a lot of home runs for the Mariners.
Gino is absolutely in the top 5 all time for the Mariners third baseman. Jeff Cirillo.
Yes, he's left. I'm leaving his butt out. That was easy.
Okay. Cirillo's out. Ed Sprague.
Oh my God. Now I got to leave that guy out too. There can't be that many bad third basemen in Mariners history. Okay, I'm leaving him out. No, don't do it.
Jim Presley.
Okay, Jim Presley is number 2. Did he make our top 100? I don't think he did.
Nah, we
need to update that thing.
Consider.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Kyle Seager. Now the question is, there's one more after this. Is it going to be Edgar?
But Edgar is not the best third baseman of all time. He's the best DH of all time. So I'm comfortable with putting Kyle Seager at number 1.
Okay. The last name is Luis Urias.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. That was good. All right. I survived. All right.
He should not be 5. Jeff Cirillo should probably be 5. But we're talking about some pretty average third base in the Mariners history. I brought up Luis Urias and I kept Edgar off just for fun. But Luis Urias, Kev, was on a lot of people's wish list this offseason before Brendan Donovan when they didn't think that trade was going to go through. And I'm triggered by my 2 months of Luis Urias and whatever year that was he played for the Mariners. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Remember they signed him and it was like, no problem. He replaced, I got to remember who he came in for.
Seager, right?
Seager. And I remember convincing myself that he might be fine for the Mariners. He hit 191 for the Mariners in 2024. God, it was that recently. And then so last year for the A's, he had 8 homers and he hit 230 and somehow people wanted him on this roster. Like for what reason? What are we doing? We got to stop with this.
Yeah.
No to Luis Urias. There's a reason he's still a free agent, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of guys that just didn't live up to their potential.
Are you talking about me? God dang, Kev.
Well, if you had a $400 bat, you'd probably be a lot better.
I was a bad hitter.
Okay, so I'm going to switch this up for you. It's going to be the inverse. So you have to tell me 1 through 5, the worst out of all these guys. And I'm going to give you...
Wait, what's worst? 1 is worst?
1 is the worst. Okay. So I was like, I need to come up with names. I'm going to go in the group chat. And I said, give me the failed Mariners prospects that just didn't turn out the way you wanted them to turn out. And boy, people were sending me lists of 10 names.
This is great.
Like it was just, I could have a longer list, but I literally took this first 7 names I got, just put them on a list. So
this is great. So this is Cole Emerson inspired, but hopefully not.
Yeah.
So he's the inspiration for both of our lists.
So
today.
remember, the 1 through 5, 1 is the worst. And so if you leave 2 out, that means that they're better than the 5 that you left in.
Right.
Number 1, the first person, Danny Holtzen.
I have a pretty good memory of all the failed prospects in Mariners history. Danny Holtzen's number 2. He's the second worst ever to me.
Yeah. He was a high draft pick. He was part of
he's number 3 overall, I want to say.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
The James Paxton, and who was the other pitcher they had?
It was Paxton, Taijuan Walker, and Danny Holtzen were going to be the big 3. Yeah. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I might have been too aggressive there with Holtzen, but I'll give him 2.
2? Okay. Yeah. Jeff Clement.
Number 1.
That was quick.
He's number 1. I don't care. If you look at the prospect pedigree and where he was and what he's supposed to be, Cal Raleigh, he was number 3 overall.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm looking up Danny Holtzen when he was drafted. Don't worry. This doesn't change.
I think he was number 2.
He was, I think you're right. He was second. So in some ways I could have put Holtzen, but Holtzen, I don't know. He was injury and stuff. Clement just was bad. So Clement's my number one.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Number 3, Brandon Morrow.
Morrow at least became a serviceable reliever, so I'm leaving him out.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that he was going to be a good starter, and then he didn't really. Yeah. Then they like converted him. It was interesting.
He was fine for like a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe a game.
Dustin Ackley.
He's left out. Dustin Ackley's better than people think.
Really? You just said that about a career 200 hitter?
No. How about the career WAR for the Mariners? You want to know where Dustin Ackley is if you go career WAR?
I'll find him for you. You're making the argument. You'd make a good lawyer.
He's the same as Tino Martinez, and he's above Dave Henderson for career WAR. He's above Zunino, Joey Cora, Mike Blowers, Gino Suarez, Mark McLemore, Kenji Jojima, Richie Sexson, Randy Arozarena, Jorge Polanco. The list goes on. That's the thing. He's disappointing because he was supposed to be what we hope Colt Emerson will be, and he wasn't there. He was, trust me, he wasn't good. I get it. But he's not as bad as people remember, as I just told you through WAR. I know WAR is not the only thing.
Yeah.
But those are a lot of good players I just listed that Dustin Ackley was above.
So Ackley are not amongst the
Okay, so I have to rank 3 players in a row in order, and you're laughing already, which is trouble.
Kyle Lewis.
5. Kyle Lewis was a rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should be left out.
To his potential.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't live up
Kyle
to his
Lewis,
potential.
what a weird, like he was like, okay, here we go. Rookie of the year. I know it was the COVID year. Yeah. What a weird year for the Mariners. I know I'm on a tangent here.
Yeah.
Kyle Lewis wins rookie of the year. Evan White wins a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
Like they sucked in that 2020 year, but they had all this like weird hope, but then it turned out like immediately they were bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jesus Montero.
Ooh, baby. 3. We'll put him at 3.
So you're at 3.
Rest in peace, by the way. He died.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I'm laughing at
you're uncomfortable.
I shouldn't have put him on the list. Now I feel bad.
You should feel bad. Jesus Montero. Can we look up his WAR? It's got to be pretty low. He's not even on the list. Yeah, you can't really
talk. I kind of want to. Can we take Montero out of this? I feel bad. I feel bad.
Just because he died doesn't mean you have to feel bad. He still was a failed prospect.
Okay, Jared
died in like a motorcycle accident. Don't worry.
I'm horrible. Okay. I'm a bad person.
Yeah, you're a bad person because of this. Last one.
Jared Kelenic.
Yeah, this is great. I feel good about this. He's 4.
Okay.
I feel actually great about my list. I think it's really accurate. Jeff Clement's easily number 1 for me.
Clement at 1, Holton 2. You said Montero at 3?
Yeah, Montero 3, Kelenic 4.
Kyle Lewis 5.
Kyle Lewis 5. With Ackley left out and Morrow left out. You know, you could probably switch actually Kelenic and Morrow in some ways.
Can I just give you like
Kelenic could be number 1 for some people, to be honest. Like they traded Edwin Diaz for him. Edwin Diaz is really good.
Yeah.
Like they didn't trade anybody well, that's not true. They traded Michael Pineda for Jesus Montero, and Michael Pineda was better for the Yankees than Montero ever was for the Mariners.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing how prospects can get hyped.
List.
And then all I can remember of Pineda was that I think he used pine tar or some substance.
He did, all up in his neck, like so much on his neck. It was so obvious. Kev, I can keep going back. You know, this is the thing about being old.
Can I give you a couple more?
Please
real
do.
Quick?
And then I'm going to add your list.
Just tell me if they crack the top 5. The worst 5. Justin Smoke?
No, Smoke was good.
Nick Franklin?
Funny enough, Nick Franklin's WAR is way higher than you think it is. No, he doesn't crack the top 5.
Okay.
Because he wasn't a big enough prospect.
Yeah.
Smoke was, but Smoke was frustrating, but he wasn't bad. This is going to sound so dumb. He wasn't bad, but he just wasn't good. Like
he's
like a lot of Mariners.
Yeah, he's kind of like Ty France.
Yeah, he's like a lot of Mariners players, right?
Like a lot of Mariners first basemen.
Let me see if I can find Smoke's WAR all time. You can keep.
Yeah, I mean, other names: Taijuan Walker, Abraham Toro.
Toro was not a prospect. Get out of here.
Justice Sheffield.
Which one of your friends put Toro on the list?
You know what? The same
Tell
friend
me who it
gives
was.
A lot of good names. No way. I'm not outing him.
You're not going to sell him out?
No way.
Toro's a ridiculous inclusion on that list. Abraham Toro was never a prospect for the Mariners.
Was he never?
No. That friend needs to get out of here. That friend, no. Get out of here with that take. That's awful. That's an awful take. We traded Kendall Graveman for him, which people were pissed, and then he hit a bomb off Graveman. That was awesome. A grand slam. But Abraham Toro was never a Mariners prospect. I'm pissed off at your friend right now. I hope he listens. That's a ridiculous take.
He definitely listens.
Good.
Okay. I was just reading off the text messages.
Roger Salkeld from 1990 was a huge prospect. And then I think we traded him to the Reds, if I want.
I've never heard that name. I mean, the biggest from my childhood is Ryan Anderson.
That's another good one. The little unit.
Yeah.
The little unit was a good one. Yeah. Kev, Roger Salkeld for the Mariners. Okay, ready? He was drafted. He has a career 10-10 record. I got to figure out where he was drafted. Drafted in 93. Was he 10th overall? He's one of those pitchers in the 1989. In the same way, he was the 3rd overall pick. This is just like Danny Holtzen. Okay, he was a 6'5" righty, high school player. Very excited. Everyone's like, this guy's incredible. Let me give you something here for a second. Okay, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You're already ignoring me. Roger Salkeld. This is in 1989. 30-7 record in high school. Pretty impressive, right? Here's your best part. 66 innings, 404 strikeouts.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah. Dude, that's a lot of strikeouts. This is probably why he got hurt and was never good, is how much he pitched in high school. Why did he throw 266 innings in high school? This is the 80s for you. What is happening?
Yeah, man. So kids didn't have $400 bats back in the 80s or whenever this guy went to high school. So
they didn't. But anyway, Salkeld. Before we go, your San Jose Giants, do you know where they used to be located before that?
No, I have no idea. Yakima?
Everett. They were the Everett Giants.
And then the Aqua Sox were born after.
I went to Everett Giants camp when I was a kid. I used to go to baseball camp.
This is so crazy. Like, how would I ever know that? This is why the podcast exists. Like, people wouldn't know this fact.
No, well, right. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I want to make sure that's correct. That the San Jose Giants were the Everett Giants. They might have gone somewhere in between. It's really hard to go through the history of the San Jose Giants and figure it out. Let's see. Yeah, it's not even on the Wikipedia page. That means that I must be the only one that really knows. Man, yeah.
Man, it's great to be back. Will I be back next week? I just don't want our podcast to just go to the graveyard like so many of my friends' podcasts where they just ran out of steam. I don't think we'll ever run out of steam. I mean, it's possible, but we're going to keep going as long as we can, even if we have to take a couple weeks off, even if whatever happens. Yeah.
It's a pretty fun time of year as we get closer to the Mariners. I got my rookie flex package. I haven't even talked about that. I bought in. I got tickets to 3 games. I still got credit to others. The Sounders have started. We didn't even talk about them. The Rain are coming. Yeah.
Also, we need to
the World Cup's coming.
We've already got a Seahawks Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
We got to make it till the Sonics come back at the very minimum. I want to be on this podcast. The goal for this podcast is for us to make it through multiple championships for all our teams, right?
I thought the goal was for you to turn it into a revenue stream for us. No, I thought you were going to do that. I thought we were going to have merch. I thought we were going to have ad sales.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's not happened so far. We're just doing this for free for the people.
Yeah.
For the
all right.
people.
So if you're listening, rate us.
Yeah. We do have great ratings on Spotify still,
5 stars,
which is great.
Yeah.
5 stars all around.
Leave us a review. Say whose voice you like more. And we will see you next week. Go USA. We're just World Baseball Classic. Go Team USA.
Yeah. I don't know. I might root for the Dominican and Julio. Wait, is he played for the Dominican? Do I have that right? Or is he
he plays for the DR. Yeah.
I'm rooting for them.
You're good. Yeah.
Or Canada with Josh Naylor. That's my guy.
Oh, yeah, that's actually, although I'm not going to forgive that Canadian curler, so that might be hard.
That's fair.
All right. See everyone next week.
See ya.
Bye.